Hey guys, what's going on here? Bit Sharka 2, Amazon FBA Seller Mentor. Don't worry about what's happening, all the notifications or whatnot. Got a few groups here blowing up. But so today we're going to be talking about, it'll be just pretty much another Amazon FBA 101. You know, it's been some time since I've actually talked about Amazon. Kind of discussed Amazon. You know, I've taken a couple of weeks off from. All right, so let's see here. Amazon FBA 101 Q&A. I've taken a few weeks off from actually talking about Amazon and what Amazon FBA is. You know, last week we were talking about wholesaling. This, you know, the week before we were talking about arbitrage. But we'll take this kind of, you know, this week back to circling back around to FBA. If you guys can't hear me or can't hear me, please let me know, and I will make something happen. Trying to get Instagram up and running. All right, cool. So I go live here every day at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I go live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Just making sure that everything is good. What's happening, my man? How are you? Hope all is well. So if you guys have any questions about Amazon FBA as I'm talking, please go ahead and you know, leave me a comment or just let me know what you guys you know, what your questions are. I'll be more than happy to answer. So every day 10 a.m. I go live here, you know, pretty much talking about you know, really just different topics about FBA. I have, you know, pretty much taken it from arbitrage to wholesaling to a few other topics in the past, you know, several weeks now, as I've been getting requests for all that. Let's put Instagram here next to Facebook. All right, cool. So let's just go ahead and jump into exactly what Amazon FBA is. And I may seem distracted a little bit. Sorry about that, because I get a lot of requests to share my videos in Facebook groups as I am actually going live. So just kind of doing that. So let's kind of explain exactly what you know, what Amazon FBA is, since, you know, now we have a bunch of new people that have joined, a bunch of new people that actually want to you know, want to listen on and exactly understand what Amazon FBA is. So what Amazon FBA is, the term FBA stands for Fulfillment by Amazon, right? And Amazon has now over 140 different warehouses all throughout the world, where you actually can send your inventory into their warehouses and they store them for you. Now, Fulfillment by Amazon doesn't only stop at storing your product, but it's also you know, it extends to actually fulfilling your orders for you, right? So let's say you find a product that you like and you want to sell on Amazon. You don't have to store it in your house. You don't have to actually wait until you get an order so that way you can send it into Amazon. In the beginning, if you are a beginner seller, sure, it may actually be something that is possible, because you may be selling 1, 2, 5, 10 units a day. But like right now, I've been selling for about a year and a half, and I sell over 100 units a day. I can't exactly imagine myself trying to fulfill 100 orders every single day. Now, this is not drop shipping. You know, we're not talking about drop shipping where you buy it from one website, you send it to another website. No, we're talking about you personally having the product in hand and actually shipping the product. So driving to the UPS office, post office, whatever, and actually shipping the product over to the person, whoever it is. You know, so you got to put the label, you have to, you know, do all that, and you also have to, you know, drive it actually to the post office itself. You know, so I exactly wouldn't, you know, see myself doing that, to be honest with you. At least not 100 units. You know, as I told you, like when I first started, I had some products that actually was, you know, doing arbitrage for, or doing, you know, private labeling for, and I would fulfill them myself. But it just, you know, starting becoming a little suffocating and a little, you know, too much, to be honest with you, to actually try to do that as you progress. Also, with Amazon Prime, so you become a Prime seller the minute you actually send your inventory into Amazon, right? Into Amazon's fulfillment centers. Amazon makes you a Prime seller. A lot of Prime buyers like seeing the word Prime next to listings and next to sellers' names, because it's like I've made a video about it. It's like a privilege, you know, like becoming prime is something, you know, it's something cool, you know, like it's almost like the cool people's club, you know, people actually, brag about it. You know what I mean? So it is pretty awesome to actually become a prime seller or to be a prime seller. And it is something that you guys really want to work hard for. Now, also, the reason why I say there are, you know, becoming a prime seller is a privilege, because actually Amazon will, you know, give you things that other, you know, sellers, like if it's if a product is fulfilled by merchant, they don't get these things, you know. And one of those things is, let's say if you are doing arbitrage or hold a prime seller, right? You actually can list your product 15% above the other sellers, above the other fulfilled by merchant sellers, and still have the buy box 100% of the time. And that's the most important thing, is having the buy box, you know, 100% of the time. Now with private labeling, you don't have to worry about that, because it is your listing. You do own that listing. You know, nobody else can actually compete with you on that listing. But with arbitrage or wholesaling, you know, being the buy box winner is, you know, something crucial. You know, many times you're not the only person on the buy box. You're sharing the buy box with other people, but, you know, just eliminating the most competition you can would be pretty awesome, right? So what I personally do with Amazon FBA is I actually am a private labeler, right? So what private labeling means is all you do is you pretty much scout out inventory within Amazon. So I don't actually, you know, I'm not this genius that actually goes out and invents all these cool products that nobody even knows about, or nobody has heard of, or anything like that. All I do is actually I go through Amazon using specific criteria, using specific parameters and specific tools, and I will scout out products that do well on Amazon, right? And then what I do is I'll go ahead, and once I find a product that fits my criteria, that fits all the things that I look for, I will actually go ahead and, okay, that's the last post. I will actually go ahead and find a supplier who can manufacture those products for me, right? And the way I do that is by actually going to a website called Alibaba. It's not a secret or anything like that. You go to a website called Alibaba, and then from there, what you do is you actually you just type in the same that you type to finding the product that you found into Alibaba. And what Alibaba is, it's a website just like Amazon, but for suppliers, for manufacturers that are in China. So you'll find a manufacturer that is in China, then you go ahead and have them manufacture that product for you, right? Now there's minimum quantity orders. There's like, you know, 100, 200, 500. I would suggest if you're starting out, this is your first time, you know, you don't start with more than 200 units, even if you have the money. A lot of times, a lot of my students are, you know, starting out with very, you know, little to no money. So I always say, you know, try to, you know, start with at least 100 units, because there are some things, you know, that need to go into it. So you need to have at least 100 units, you know. Now let's kind of go ahead and, so Instagram, actually, I had a question from, Kevin FBA said, hey, man, I have a product idea, but I just don't know what to do to start selling it on Amazon. Maybe you can give us a quick, okay, of how to. Now, here's the thing. So Kevin and FBA, buddy, let's do this. If you're still watching, I'm not sure if you are still, why don't you go ahead and send me a DM on Instagram? Let's kind of discuss this a little bit further. It just kind of depends exactly what it is. So if you have a product, right, depending on exactly what phase it is. So he's actually talking about not private labeling like what I do, because what I do is I don't invent my own products. I actually go into Amazon and find products already selling. But what he's saying is that he has from what I'm understanding at least, he has a product of his own. So a product that he actually has invented, right, and he wants to sell on Amazon. That is 100% doable. You know, it's like private labeling, pretty much. You're pretty much going to be the only person there. What I would do before I go in is I would first search Amazon for similar products, see if you have any competition out there, because there might be competition. There might be, you know, at least somebody selling something similar, right? Maybe not exactly the same, but something similar. So you want to see exactly if there's somebody selling something similar. After you do that, then we can, you know, I can help you out with creating a listing, promoting you, all that, getting you up and going. I have no problem with that. So let's talk a little bit further. Now on Facebook, let's see here. We have I think we have butcher the shit out of this name. So it says Ertugrul. Can't even pronounce the last name, man. Really sorry about that. My products are in production at the moment. They will be ready by next week. I've already made the listing, but when should I make the international shipping plan, and what is required to make the plan? So he's talking about creating a shipping plan, and the shipping plan is to be made before you actually ship the product. I mean, obviously, because you need to tell Amazon exactly how many products they're shipping, how much, what are they expecting, how much exactly weight and dimensions and everything, how many units they're receiving. So the shipping plan is very important. And you also need to get the address where the warehouse, which warehouse the product is going to be going to. Now, do understand, if you are ordering less than 100 units, Amazon will make you send them to more than 1 or 2 warehouses, might be even 3. There's a way to actually get around that. I have a video about that. If you want to inquire about that, why don't you go ahead and message me? I can help you out. But a shipping plan needs to be created before the product leaves the manufacturer's warehouse. Because, I mean, number one, they can't ship it because you don't have a shipping address, unless if you are sending it to your own house because you're fulfilling it yourself. I don't see that the case here, because he did mention that, when exactly does he create a shipping plan? And you only create a shipping plan if you're actually going to send products into FBA. So that's also, one of the steps that you need to take is after you find a supplier that will actually supply your products or manufacture your products. So going back to what we were talking about, what we do is we put our logo or brand on the product. So let's say this is a mouse, right? Simple as this. This is a mouse. Now this mouse is Logitech. Now I personally can launch a mouse looking exactly like this, literally exactly like this. I'll take Logitech and I'll put Bashar JCat 2 or BJK. And this mouse just became mine. Nobody else can actually do it, right? Nobody else can actually sell it. They can sell the same mouse just without my name on it. So now I just rebranded this mouse to being mine, and I can go and list it, create a listing, optimize it, sell it, right? So that's exactly what private labeling is. That's exactly how it works, and how exactly, what exactly I need to do. So let's say I found this mouse on Amazon selling, 300 units a day. I mean, a month at, $20 a pop. And I found it for $5 cost in China, and I can ship it over to the US. And I bought 100 of them for $5 at $500. I shipped it over to Amazon fulfillment centers. I created a shipping plan. I gave them, they gave me the actual address. I shipped it over to them, and it's got BJK on it, and I'll start selling it. So you could do something like this, right? Now, I would not suggest that you do a mouse, because I'm pretty sure there are listings selling a couple thousand of those a month, probably a couple hundred units a day, maybe even, okay? But the problem is that's very competitive. So a couple, 3 of the main things that I look into when doing product research is, number one, price. Price means profits. How much can I sell it for, and how much profit can I make? Number 2, reviews, meaning how competitive is that product. The more reviews, the more competitive the product is. Number 3, and those are 3 main, but I have a total list of 12 different product research criteria that I look into. Number 3 is demand, and demand, meaning traffic, and that's sales. So sales means demand means traffic means sales, right? So how many are they selling? I look at products that I can sell between $18 to $35 that I can get for $5 or cheaper shipped to the US, and that sell at least 8 to 10 a day, and that I can make a $10 profit, okay? So I look at, so if, let's say I find a product that I can sell for $20, I make sure that my cost is 25% of size or lower, okay? And then from there, I go ahead and I launch it, and because I give myself, so 25% is product cost, I give myself another 25% for customer acquisition cost, and then I give myself 50% for profits. Right now, that's not a set in stone, rule, and things may go up or down. You may have, things, let's say, I don't know, your cost. Let's say instead of $5, it's $6. Now, you're at, 30% instead of 25%. Custom acquisition costs, that's a cost that's only in the beginning until you start optimizing and promoting and actually getting your product out there. But aside from that, you don't exactly need to worry about that cost later on. So that cost can actually convert into profits once you are ranking, once you are getting organic sales. Because in the beginning, you have to buy reviews, you have to start, doing giveaways in order for you to start ranking to look like as you're making sales, but you really are not, because you need sales and reviews in order for you to show up. And the main point here for your listing to show up on page number 1. If your listing isn't, it's like, when was the last time that you actually tried to go, on Google and you typed anything and you actually went to page 5, 6, or 10, or 15 to find a result for whatever it is they were looking for? Like I went like, okay, I just got a new Mac, right? So this is my new Mac, right? Just got a new Mac, okay? Air, what is it? Mac Air, okay? So I just got a new Mac. What happened here? So I just got a new Mac, and there was a lot of things I did not know how to use. Like I didn't even know how to freaking how to use the what do you call it? The mouse. Like I didn't know how to use the mouse, and I didn't even know how to do copy paste and any of that. So I went to Google. And literally, when I typed in how to use mouse or whatever, bam, the first result, and I was able to actually go ahead and use that, So that's the point. You need to actually get ranked on page number 1 for all of the related keywords, the relevant keywords that you're listing, and that's ultimately the main goal in this entire thing, So in order for you to do that, you need some expertise. You need somebody that actually knows what the hell they're talking about, that knows what they're doing, right? And it is why I always suggest to everybody, if you are trying something new, if you are trying to actually hop on, something, mustache on flake. Thanks. I haven't even fixed them, to be honest with you. I typically have it all gelled and stuff like that, but thanks anyways. You want to piggyback on somebody else's success. It's like, many of us who go to new restaurants, I know my wife does that. Every time we want to go to a new restaurant, the first thing she does is she goes on Yelp and looks at all the pictures. She doesn't even look at the menu. She'll look at the pictures and sees what other people who went before us, think of certain foods, and they took a picture and they posted on Yelp. So she will actually piggyback her experience or what she's going to order on, or her decision upon somebody else's experience who actually had already been there, done that, right? So the same thing with starting a new business, the same thing with starting a new adventure, same thing with Amazon FBA or just any other business. It's like, why are you going to try to reinvent the wheel? Why not piggyback on somebody else's success? Somebody who's already done that, been there, figured out all the kinks, have a system, proven system, have some, has already taught a few people, and things are going pretty well, Why not go after somebody like this to actually teach you and actually show you the way? Why are you going to try to reinvent the wheel? And this is why when I first started 4 or 5 months ago, I would be posting my results and stuff like that. And I was getting hit up by a lot of people that were curious about exactly how I did it, what I do and stuff like that. And then I created a course. So now I do have a course. I do have a mentorship program you guys can all check out. And if you guys are interested in that, just go ahead and send me a PM, DM, whatever it is on Yelp, on YouTube. I don't know what it's called, just a private message or something. And let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. Look, I wake up at 5:30 a.m., go to sleep 11 p.m. Literally 85 to 90% of that time, I am glued to my computer, to my phone, answering questions, analyzing products, making sure my students are, either successful or on the way to becoming successful, making sure, the reason why I created the mentorship program, the reason why I created the course is to make sure they, accelerate your learning curve, avoid making mistakes, make sure that you minimize your risk, minimize the time that you're going to waste. Like I get a lot of people saying, oh, well, let me go launch a product. I'll make some money and then I'll come join your group. And it's like, well, if you're going to go and make some money, why are you even going to try to pay me to help you? You've already figured it out. But the problem is that's not going to happen. Because the problem is you don't know exactly what's going on. You may think, okay, there are three steps that I need to do. Find a product. These are the product research criteria. Find a supplier, ship it over to Amazon, create a listing, do all that PPC, blah, blah, blah. And that's it, And only 3 steps of the really 10 steps or 7 steps or 8 steps. but you don't know that the other steps exist. You know what I mean? So in your mind, oh, I know everything. You know what I mean? And that's what I tell everybody. It's that the problem is you don't know what you don't know. Although that kind of may not make sense, but if you think about it, it does. You don't know what you don't know. So that is the biggest problem, is that a lot of people don't know what they don't know. And I tried doing this for 4 months on my own. Believe me, it sucked. I wasted nearly 6 months of my time that I can never get back, which I wish I had started with a mentor since day one. I wasted nearly $10,000 that I'll never get back. I mean, I am profiting, but it was another $10,000 that I could have spent on buying a new car, putting an extra deposit for a new home, shopping, whatever, trips, anything, more products, whatever the case may be. So I wish I had done this, but I did it, right? I did it. I went through, I actually had 3 mentors 3 courses I took at one time, but I only had 1 mentor. And that's the problem, is that all these courses that I was taking, just kind of not teaching me anything, did not get me anywhere. So what I did was I actually finally found somebody to help me, which is why I'm doing this right now, is I'm trying to give back. I'm trying to, come back around and actually be the mentor that I didn't have when I first started, because I know how important it is. Doesn't matter how many videos you watch, doesn't matter. I mean, there's videos all over YouTube, right? Although YouTube may be misleading, but there's a bunch of YouTube videos that you can watch. But the problem is, it's not about, watching videos. It's not about actually learning, the process, about doing the process and having somebody in your 6 at all times answering questions. Like when you find a product, okay, it fits the criteria. What do I do? It's called hesitance. It's pulling the trigger. That's very, difficult. What if it's the last $1,000 that you have, and you go and buy a product, then what? What do you do after that? What if you just went through the last $1,000 that you just had, like when I first started this, I started with $1,300. When I first started this, I had so many people hit me up and say, hey man, look, I got $500. I've got $700 to my name. How the hell do I make it happen? How the hell do I become successful? And I'm just thinking like, shit, like this dude is serious, like that's all they have. Like I need to be held accountable, and that's the thing, is that I do exactly what I say I will. I deliver exactly what I say I will deliver, but it's about how much work and effort, you will put into it. It's like, I get that question asked a lot. Well, what's the minimum time, that I need to put into it? What's the minimum this? What's the minimum that, how much profits can I make? Can you guarantee something? I'm like, I can't exactly guarantee anything, because I can't guarantee the amount of effort and time you're going to put into it, how serious you are, how committed you are. I know how committed and serious I am. I know how much time and effort I'm going to put into it, which is 175,000%. But I don't know. I can't guarantee. I don't know you. I can't guarantee exactly what, how much time and effort you're going to put into it. I know if you follow everything I say and actually become serious and committed, you will get where I say you can get. You know what I mean? You can get where I am and even a lot further. There's people making a lot more money than me. I mean, I make good money, but there's people making a lot more money than me. This is nothing. But are they willing to show you what they do? That's the question. I'm willing to show you. I'm willing to teach you. And it's not about just showing you, okay, I can open a book and have you rate the book. It's like, imagine going to a classroom when the teacher only passes a bunch of notebooks, and then at the end of the school year, there's a bunch of exams and you're expected to pass. What is the meaning of a teacher if they're not going to teach? You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It doesn't matter how many notebooks, how many courses, how many videos you watch. If you don't have somebody there for you that will answer your questions, analyze your products, just pretty much be there for you, guide you through the process, you're just not going to become successful. And if you're going to try to say, oh, I'm going to do it by myself, I'm going to do it on my own, it's just not going to happen, man. You just need to understand, you don't know what you don't know. Somebody's already been there, done that, knows all the steps, knows what it takes to get where they are. Things always come up. And I always said this, I learned in the first 2 months I launched the course, I learned 3 new things about Amazon from 2 of my beginner students. I learned 3 new things that I did not even know before. Learning never stops. You always need to keep learning. You always need to, stay positive and just keep collecting that information, So anyways, guys, Amazon FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. That's what it stands for, right? You find a product, private labeling, you find a product on Amazon using specific, tools, Jungle Scouts. And then once you find it, there's a criteria. You go on my channel in the first video, I share my product research criteria. You go, you take that, you go to Alibaba.com, Don't let anybody fool you and say, "Oh, I've got the secret." I got a secret inventory of wholesalers nobody or suppliers nobody has access to. It's freaking Alibaba, man. You go to Alibaba.com, okay? You search that same product, you find it, you hit up 10, 15 suppliers, you get the best price, you get the best variation, whatever. You create a packaging on Fiverr.com. Then you get it shipped over to fulfillment centers. You create a shipping plan, you get shipped over to fulfillment centers. You create a listing, you optimize it. There's a little bit more details into it. But you do that, and then after that, you start selling, and then you just got to tweak things around as you go. But that's pretty much what Amazon FBA is. It's 100% automated. It's 100%, you could do it anywhere in the world. You don't have to actually work every single day. You don't have to go to work at 9, get off at 5. You actually don't have to employ your effort and your time in order to earn money. That's what passive income is called. Now, this isn't 100% passive. This isn't like a stock or a bond or whatever, where you're going to put your money there, and then 5 years later, you're earning, 5% as you go or whatever. And this doesn't work that way. I mean, the earnings are a lot more than something like that, because you're earning, at least 30%, 40%, 50%, and you're replenishing it all the time. But there is a little bit more, there's a little bit of work that goes into it, right? Especially in the front end. There's a lot of work that goes into the front end. And then there's some work that goes into kind of, as you go, to managing, maintaining, making sure things are taken care of, making sure that your customers are good. You don't have returns, things like that. Replenishing your inventory, looking for more products, launching more products and stuff like that is just like a business, But you don't have to go to, your miserable 9 to 5. You don't have to actually, answer to nobody. You set your own schedule. You don't have to dress up and go to work. I still remember when I was 17, 18 years old, and I would go to banks trying to ask for loans, or I know at 19 there was I wanted to, my family wanted to buy a 7-Eleven. So I went to the seminar, and I was sitting down, and after it was done, and it was supposed to be under my name, right? Because I was going to take the test and all that. So I go up to the person that was talking about the seminar, and I'm like, "Hey, do you actually have to be 21 to do this?" And he looks at me like, "You don't even have any facial hair. How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 19. He's like, "Man, get the hell out of here," literally, So you don't have to actually talk to nobody. You're not interacting with customers. I know a lot of you guys, that's not your best, your best thing to do, right? It's not your best characteristic to actually talk to customers, negotiate, things like that. Everything is done through the internet. I literally am using my computer. I had a busted ass Toshiba. What is it? Toshiba? Is it Toshiba? Yeah, I think it's a Toshiba computer. And $40 internet. That's it. And then I just actually my wife got me a Mac. And I'm still trying to figure it out. That's why I have both computers, because I don't know how to freaking use everything here. But anyways, so that's kind of how it works, guys. It's 100% automated. It's 100%, it is 100% automated, 100%, not 100% passive. However, it is passive for sure. And, you don't have to actually wake up to work every day. You don't have to do all that crazy stuff. You know what I mean? Also, what I'll do right now, if you guys are interested, I will go ahead and put a link to my mentorship program, to my course. If you guys, want to join or just kind of check that out, see how that looks like. We made a pretty pimp page, at least I think so. And it is pretty awesome, actually. But if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Even after I am done with this, I will go back. I'll answer all your questions, make sure that you are taken care of. And if for whatever reason you can't, access the video or whatever, you can always actually just send me a direct message. Just send me a direct message to my, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, YouTube. I will, make sure that I answer your questions and make sure that, all your concerns are addressed and your questions are answered. But aside from that, guys, be sure to get to your Amazon FBA Seller Mentor. I will go ahead and kill the field right now. It's almost been 30 minutes. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Amazon FBA Seller and Mentor. I'll see you all in the next video. Y'all have a great day, and peace out. And video.